Confirmation peeps. You have to be here or you chose to be here? Really? Seriously? Confessions later tonight? So you can't, is it? Thank you. Speaking of confession, so I went last night. I try to go every 2 weeks, not because I'm holy, because I'm not holy. We go to confession because we need it. I literally cut off little old ladies and Joe's wife to get into confession last night because I know I needed it so much. So it's the most amazing sacrament, but wouldn't it be great if all of us, the line was so long that Father had to extend it another hour or 2 hours, okay? That would be amazing. So if you didn't hear anything from me today, go to confession regularly. It will make you become the man or woman, the best version of yourself. You don't want to see the version of me in grade school and high school and in college that didn't care about Mass and didn't care about confession. I like the version I'm at right now. I'm not no saint, please, okay? I'm not where I need to be, but confession, that grace flowing through my veins as a husband, as a father, as a Rome boy, as all the different hats that I wear. Wow, it's amazing. So please, I beg you, go to confession regularly. Amen. Let's have lunch. Just kidding. All right. So these guys gave some amazing talks. I think, anyway. I don't know what you think. Testimonials, stories, they were real. But I'm the teacher, okay? A little bit different. And I want to make sure that you learn something today. And I'm sure you learned something already. But I got so many things I want to teach you that it's impossible that you don't have something to leave this place to go do. I'm going to give you 60 ideas. 60. Got your notebook and pen? I was a classroom teacher for 11 years. My students took notes. I was happy by the end of the year that they filled up their whole notebook and they said, Mr. Frasco, I had to fill up 2 notebooks. Yes. Because I want to fill you with so much knowledge, but hopefully that knowledge is hitting the heart. Now, 60 ideas to get this parish on fire. And some of you young people may someday leave this parish and go somewhere else. Some of you are like, I can't wait for that day. Maybe, maybe not. But to make this place on fire. You had Jesse Romero twice. You have the Rome boys here. We got 60 more ideas for you, okay? To get excited. But it doesn't mean that you have to do them all. 1 or 2 do in the next few years. That's doable, okay? And then the rest of the 58, tell everybody that's not here to do those, okay? So it's amazing stuff that I hope to share with you and all the reading I've done, all that kind of stuff. So, yes, old picture here. I am married with 7 kids, just like Chris here. How in the world did my wife say yes? Actually, my wife never said yes. She just didn't say no. So I'll take it. But she had to say yes on April 2nd, 2005, because, hey, it's part of the vows. Did you know that John Paul II died during my wedding mass? What? And on the holy card back there, there's a quote of John Paul II in Evangelization. Everybody at our wedding reception said, I'm so sorry to hear the Pope died on the day that you're married. And I said, no way. That guy is a saint, and he's praying for my marriage right now. Amen. And he's been praying for it the whole time, and we said on our wedding day that we would have 7 kids. I bet you JP too has something to do with that. And my wife and I. But anyways, the whole point here is I am a cradle Catholic. Only child, okay? All of you are, half of you are related in this room, or all of you are related, okay? I went to family reunions, and I was scared to death because there's hundreds of people here, and I didn't know nobody, but everybody knew each other, and they knew who I was, you know? And so I went to Catholic grade school, Catholic high school, was taught religion in a book, in a religion book. That was lame, it was boring, and I didn't find it wasn't exciting. When I became a theology teacher, I threw away the religion books. And I got the Bible and the Catechism, and that was our 2 books. It's all you need. It's all right there. But throughout grade school, I had this experience, back to John Paul II again, where my mom forced me to go to World Youth Day in Denver, Colorado. That's why I had the Broncos hat on, because I'm originally from Colorado. And I went to World Youth Day, and I saw John Paul II. And in my middle school mind of into girls, into video games, and into eating, I was a big kid. I was a fat kid. Let's be honest. But I played football, and I did good at it. So it worked out in the end. But I was at World Youth Day, and there the seed was planted in my heart and soul. My middle school kid, they didn't know where he was going to go and what he was going to do. So learning thing number one, and I told you I have 60 more things. Number one is get away from here and make sure that the young people here and all of us go somewhere else to experience the faith. We can experience the faith here and in the church, but we also need to experience it somewhere else. And World Youth Day, which there's one coming up in a couple of years, I believe, is a great experience for not only the young people, but the chaperones and the adults that are there too. Number 2 point in my life, I went on a mission trip to South Dakota. Didn't want to go. Was into football, was into my job and making money. I didn't want to be with all those church kids. And there was 50 people going to South Dakota from Colorado. Long drive. I didn't say one word the whole trip. I didn't want to be there. I was like this. I'm better than you. I'm the football player. You're the geeks. Bad attitude, okay? I get there, and one of the guys comes up to me and says, would you like to sing songs in front of 500 people? Yeah, right. Why would you even have the gall to ask me that? I said yes. Now, it wasn't that I said yes. I was confirmed the summer before. The Holy Spirit said yes through me. All of you that have been confirmed, watch out, because you don't know when the Holy Spirit will have you say yes to something that you never would do. I'm up there singing in front of 500 people, having the time of my life, and that was the moment that my aha moment that Joe mentioned, that I came to love Jesus Christ as my Savior and Lord. I went back to that mission trip for 3 more summers, and next thing you know, the last summer I was leading songs, and the MC gave me the microphone. But why is that transformation? What's so big about that? I was very quiet and introverted and not into that stuff, and next thing I know, I'm up there. If you don't get anything from today, me telling you about the faith? What? Miracle. Right there. I was the back row Catholic, never would say anything, super quiet, shy, and into my own world. Now I'm a Rome boy talking in front of people. What? God. All God. We all have a role to play in our faith with our own unique personality, our background, and where we come from. Zoom ahead to college. I play college football, Sterling College in Sterling, Kansas. I'm 275 pounds, offensive lineman. Lost a few pounds since then. It's coming back. My wife's cooking's pretty good. And so I'm there in college. I'm one of 5 Catholics in a Protestant Christian college. First time in my life that I'm not really in a Catholic environment. People are anti-Catholic. They hate the Catholic Church. They break into my room. They mess with my Mary statue and my crucifix because those are, we worship those things, right? No, we don't. Okay. But they thought that. It was a bad, I should say, it was a tough 4 years. But there was light. There was hope. And there was this program called Totus Tuus. Have you heard of Totus Tuus? It's kind of a funny phrase. It's Latin for totally yours. Praise God, this program, Totus Tuus, is starting in our diocese this summer. Father Ryan Rojo has got it started. My wife and I have been trying to get it started for 15 years. And so it's an amazing program. But what it is college students that they put on vacation Bible school in different parishes throughout different dioceses. And 8 parishes in our diocese are going to have it here this summer. And so, but zoom back to when I was first on a Totus Tuus team. I did it with my buddy. He played college football with me. We get in this room, and there's adoration. Blessed Sacrament's there. 50 teachers are all on their knees, bowing, worshiping the Lord. And I'm like, that's a piece of bread. Did you remember I said I went to Catholic grade school and Catholic high school? No one ever told me that was God himself. Before every talk I ever do, I always go over to the church and pray before my Lord. Because people don't visit him. He's alone. Jesus is in the church. What? I want you to hear that because I never heard it when I was in Catholic grade school, Catholic high school. So 50 people are worshiping the Lord. I look at all of them. I'm not looking at the Lord and the monstrance. Okay? I'm looking at them, and I'm like, they must believe that that's God? What? And this transformation happened to me in that summer, and I fell in love with Our Lady and praying the rosary, in the Eucharist, and all things Catholic. And I went back to my campus, and everybody knew that I was Catholic because I told them. I got in the lunch line and I passed out why the Catholic Church is the fullness of the truth. I brought 2 priests on separate occasions. We were there till midnight until the student union closed. People were asking questions about the Catholic faith. People got to know. We got to evangelize. I grew up in an environment where you kept the faith to yourself and you might share it with someone that you know in your family. No, we're too shy. We got to be like the Jehovah's Witnesses and the Mormons, going door to door and telling people about the faith. We got to get out of here. So when you leave this place, and if you go back home and nothing's changed, this wasn't a good thing. Okay? We have to pray to the Holy Spirit that something's going to change, that you're going to do 1 or 2 things when you leave this place to go change the world. So yeah, married, 7 kids, taught theology for 11 years, been doing Rome Boys for a couple of years, full-time. I've helped for 7 years doing pilgrimages. I've helped with 70 pilgrimages for people to go. Some people were talking earlier to Italy and the Holy Land and Mexico City and all 50 different places all around the world. So it's a crazy life being Catholic, married to that woman. Chris said, his life, Mo's life was stable, until he met. My life is like this because of that lady right up there. And then 7 kids, so 4 boys, Nicholas, Augustine, Simeon, and Anthony. Please pray for their vocations. I was in a seminary for 2 years, and I firmly believe that someday there's going to be a Father Frasco someday. Maybe not them. Maybe their kids or their kids or their kids. But God brought me to the seminary, and he cleaned me up. That's where I lost 70 pounds, and my soul was completely changed. We went on a 30-day silent retreat. What? Some of my friends in our class were the most extreme extroverts you can imagine. Like, they talk constantly. They talk while they sleep. Okay? They're always talking. Okay? And one of my friends, his name is Marlon. He's actually studying for the priesthood in Houston right now, so pray for him. His name is Marlon. He would, to cope with that silence, he would eat potato chips. That's all I could hear because it's silent. So you could hear chips down the hallway. Him consuming bags of chips. His cheeks got bigger and bigger. I couldn't say anything to him, but he was gaining some serious weight. He took it off at the end of it. Anyways, but on this awesome silent retreat, you can't run away from God in the silence. And the brokenness of my family, my parents got a divorce when I was 7. They fought till I was 21. There was custody battles where they said, you're going to have to take the witness stand and choose between your mom and your dad. Stepmother gets involved, and with my dad, they get married. She doesn't like me. She despises my mom, fights. My grandparents get involved. One has a heart attack I'm doing you the short version. Chris gave a little bit of a version of his story. It's a mess. My family tree was a disaster. So to be married to an amazing woman and having 7 kids, another miracle. Does God do miracles? Yes. Amen. Yes. At Mass tonight, miracle, the Eucharist. Okay. So long story short, I am so blessed to be married to Liza Frasco. Gosh, it's amazing that she would have said yes. And we both have a fire to evangelize and to spread the good news. So, without further ado, evangelization. So there's 5 steps to make a disciple. Jesus said the Great Commission. We just heard it. Go therefore and make disciples of all nations. That's the point of our life. to make disciples. But most Catholics in the pews don't know Jesus and don't know their Catholic faith. They're not disciples. They're taking up space in the church. Praise God, they're there. But did you know that about 6% of every Catholic church in the world is a disciple? 6%. And I imagine the majority of the people in this room are the disciples of this parish, okay? Or soon to be disciples. So how it works is there's 5 steps to make a disciple. First of all, if you're a disciple, this is how you make disciples. And if you're not a disciple, you're finding you're like somewhere on the 3 or the 4 list, okay? Pray to God and tell other people, how do I get to become a disciple? A person that would do anything for God. Lay down their life. Would you die for Jesus right now? Woo! Some hands went up fast, okay? I mean, I'm not Bartholomew, Joe, skinned alive. Are you ready for that? I'm not. Please shoot me. It's quicker, and I still get martyred. Still get to go straight to heaven. All right. So, anyways, but there's 5 steps to become a disciple. Number 1, a person's got to trust you. Think of one person right now that you know that is not Catholic, or they've left the faith, haven't seen it in Mass recently. Do you have someone you know that they trust you? You got to have trust. That's the foundation. You can't move, you can't just say, come to RCIA, I don't even know you. You have to have trust with them in order to be able to make a disciple. 2, curiosity. This is out of your hands. They have to be kind of interested in what you're talking about. Can't force the Catholic faith on someone. You have to be able to say, they're starting to ask questions, some curiosity. Maybe you're there. Did you know that lots of priests, deacons, bishops, people that work for the church are not disciples? How do I know this? Because the books that I've read and the surveys they've done of the thousands of priests and bishops in the church, some of them, like being Catholic. They love certain things about the faith, but they still are not officially a disciple yet. So don't feel bad if you're not there. Have you heard our 3 stories? We weren't there too for a while until God took the hammer, the divine vow, and took us down. 3, change. Here's the point that most people can't get over. One of my friends, he listened to gangster rap. Every word was the F-bomb. Okay? When he met Christ through Totus Tuus, like I said earlier, he took all of that stuff, put it in a trash bag, and chucked it into the dumpster. Change. He knew he had to clean it up. And his pornographic magazines, and the video prescriptions he had, and the phone calls that he was calling that were inappropriate and paying money to, okay? Change. Radical goodbye change. Peter, James, John, Jude, Philip, Bartholomew, all the saints of ever left it all and said, no, I got to change. You can still be yourself. Joe's a perfect example. Farmer, family man, himself, okay? The goal for him and you and I is to just become the best, to have a halo above our head and to be the saint as a farmer, as a student, as an elderly person, whatever it may be. But change. Are you willing to change and do what's necessary to become the saint? Did you know that only saints go to heaven? Anybody a saint in the room? I'm not. Far from it. Okay? Only saints go to heaven. How do we become a saint? It's a lot of work, isn't it? Lent is a perfect time. Prayer, fasting, and almsgiving is the secret to becoming a saint. That is not just for 40 days, that's every day. And it's not just being a Catholic for 1 hour a week, it's every day of the week, 365 days of the year. So, change. Number 4, seeking. I really want to do this. I want to become a disciple. I'm open to doing it, but you're still in the boat. You're still like, oh, I want to jump in. And that's where most Catholics are, or at the change part. Most people that I feel that are at a conference are at 4 or 5. I want to, 18% of all parishes are people that are really, really close. So your job is to push them into the water. Get them into the water. Because in the water, it's scary. We don't know what's going to happen, okay? I didn't know that I thought I was going to become a priest. I got married. I'm like, God, I don't know what to do. I had no money when I left the seminary, and God provided a way. I don't know what's going to happen. Like I told you about my wife. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, but that's fun. Because being a person that loves the Lord and loves the church, it's an adventure. Life is not boring. Last one is being a follower, being a disciple. And we'll go more into that in a second. So, thank you, Chris. And let's do the next one. Skip it on that one. Thank you, sir. So, the 4 signs of a disciple. We can tell by our actions if you're a disciple. Prayer. And not just doing prayer because I have to or I didn't get my rosary in, but authentic conversation with God. Talking to God, but maybe more importantly, listening to Him. The greatest prayer in my whole life is just to sit there and do nothing. Have you tried it? It's the best. Because who's doing the talking? The one that knows a lot more than I do. Prayer is amazing. Find the way that God can reach you. My wife falls asleep when I start the rosary. I'm like, in the name of the Father, she's yawning at that point with the rosary. I love the rosary. It's not her thing, okay? Spontaneous prayer, music, adoration, Stations of the Cross, singing, whatever it is, as long as it's communicating with God and God speaks to you. When I was in the classroom, I would have prayer days and I would do completely different stuff all the time. And you would see about 1/4 of the class loved it, 3/4 didn't. So then I switched the next time. 1/4 loved it that time, a different 4th, and then switched it. And every month I did one day, and every month at least they were praying once of that month, okay? Change it up. And also try not to be a Catholic that sits in the same pew and your butt indentation is in the pew. Like, it's made for you because you've been sitting there for 75 years. We got to change things up, do things differently. So by going to Mass at this time every day, praying the rosary, do things different. Change it up, spice it up, make it exciting. 2, study. How many of you have read a Catholic book within the last year? That's above average, okay? Most of the time, no hands go up. We got to keep learning, whether it's the Bible, whether it's the Catechism, whether it's a saint book, whatever it may be. If you need some recommendations, email us, okay? We hope to do a show sometime of just our favorite Catholic books, and we will just be scratching the surface because there's so many good ones, okay? But always be learning. Joe mentioned Catholic radio. Listen to it. It's amazing stuff. I'm not going to say Rome Boys, but I just said Rome Boys, so you can listen to that and learn that way. I didn't say it, though. 3rd one, generosity. The people that are disciples, you can tell because they give 10% or more, and they give their time, and they give their very life to the church. The average Catholic gives 1% of their income to the faith, to the church. Protestant Christians give about 2% to the church. I challenge you, and my own kids do this. You saw all the different ages. Some of them only got $5, so it's not too bad. But give 10% at least to God first. When I get my paycheck, that's the very first thing I do. I've been doing this for 20 years. 10% to God, there it goes. It's for Him. My life is for Him, so the money is for Him. Okay? So be generous with your time and your treasure. And lastly, evangelization. Hopefully the Rome Boys have helped you today with saying, we can't just keep things the way they are. We got to get out of the church and go out there. Pope Francis says, we got to smell like the sheep. Okay? There was a time for the last 50 years that we do everything on campus. Knights of Columbus Hall's right there, right? Here's this hall, here's the church. Good, we got to do that. But that's a lot of it, what some books say, that's called maintenance. That's good, we have to do that. But we're also called to be on mission. We're called to be out there. Try to create some opportunities to where everybody every Catholic in this town is out there doing some type of service. going door to door. I'm going to give you some ideas here shortly. So, all right, thanks, Chris. So the 6 pillars of a thriving parish. I don't know how your parish is doing. Only you can figure that out. But here's a little bit of a gauge to figure out how we're doing here. Do you have a mission? Now, Chris hammered that home pretty hard. What's the mission of Our Lady of Perpetual Help? I'm going to wait and hear for your response. It's in the bulletin. At least it's there. When's the last time you read it? The actual mission?
Actually, it's on the bulletin board when you walk in.
Okay, so this parish is better than the majority of parishes. It's in 2 places. Have we heard it preached about?
No.
Is it said at meetings or gatherings?
No.
Is it on the wall on the way out of church?
Yes.
Okay, very good, very good. This is crazy, Kristen and Joe, did you notice this? They have evangelization quotes in the bathroom here. This place is awesome. Okay? I love it. But the parish mission needs to be front and center in a plaque and talked about weekly. Because if you don't have a mission, where are you going? If you're in a battle and you don't know who you're battling, what's the point? Who are we battling?
Satan.
This crazy world, our own sinful flesh, and certainly the evil one, the devil. He's always slithering, isn't he? Yesterday, with Rome Boys, the one thing that has been the biggest point in my whole time as a Rome Boy for 2 years is getting spiritually attacked. Physically attacked, spiritually attacked, and my family too. You know you're doing something well when the devil shows up. He's always there. So please pray for us. He likes to pick on us. And the Acts retreat, the guys just did an Acts retreat a couple weeks ago. Every single time they say, whenever they do a retreat, the devil shows up. You know you're in the right church when the devil's nearby. And Catholic priests are the only ones that can get rid of the devil, so you know you're in the right house of all the churches there is. Mission. So what's the mission, and are we living it? 2, a plan to do that mission. Some parishes have that, some dioceses have that, but then it's like, woohoo, we did a meeting, and then you don't talk about it for 3 years. Okay? So what's the mission for you, your family, and this parish? How are we going to make it happen for you, your family, this parish? Like I said, if you zone out for the rest of the day and you're thinking about your mission, fine, go with that. 3, communication. We got to communicate what it is we're about. So let's say Our Lady of Perpetual Help is here to evangelize and to save souls. Is that probably true? Probably, okay. So every activity needs to be about saving souls. Would you agree? So if we're drinking beer at a Knights of Columbus meeting, that can be done. That's fine. But is it about saving souls and our souls being impacted while we drink beer? Sometimes not, okay? But that's the whole point of the mission. And my mission and your mission as well. Financial health, how the parish is doing. Every parish that does well financially is ones that have disciples. Because disciples are the ones that give. And so if you're raising up disciples, you won't have to worry about money. If the parish is struggling with finances, make more disciples. It's pretty simple. Money will come. 5th one, focus on evangelization. 3% of all parishes even talk about evangelization. Protestant Christians, charismatics, evangelicals, this is their priority. You walk into their church, they're excited to see you, and they want to get you involved. Even in Rowena, I don't even feel welcome still. And I've been there for 4 years. We got to have a happy face, act like we love the faith, smile, and be able to share that with others. Focus on evangelization. That also requires some money. That means we put money into evangelization so that we can make sure that people know the faith. Because in 50 years, will Our Lady of Perpetual Help still be here? Will the pews still be full? Without evangelization, it's going to close down. Why do I say that? Because we're from 3 small towns. We're in a cluster parish. One priest does a boatload of masses, overworked, We got to make disciples there. You have to make disciples here so that we can continue the mission of Jesus Christ, which is to make disciples. And lastly, a lifelong faith formation. Now, that's the knowledge stuff. But I do have a beef with CCD because CCD can only do so much. It's once a week for an hour, if you're lucky, to be able to say some truths. That's good. It's better than nothing. But statistics show that CCD does nothing in helping someone stay a lifelong Catholic. What does? Solid Catholic parents, solid Catholic families, living their faith in action. Now, I'm not saying don't stop doing CCD, but I would say, if you're asking me, if I was the Pope, God forbid, okay, I would say let's have all the families get together on Wednesday nights or whenever CCD is, and let's evangelize the whole family. And then the families can talk about the faith, and especially if those dads show up, woo, doggies, okay? If the men in this parish, wow, I am impressed with the Knights of Columbus, the men I've met in this parish. You guys are rocks. You are solid. I don't say this in most places. I'm not just saying this to you guys impress me. You could be up here talking instead of me and sharing your faith, and I hope you will, okay? So, men, if you're on fire for the faith, this parish will catch on fire. Be the leaders you're called to be. Thanks. Okay, 60 ideas. Are you ready? Here we go. I would do a drum roll, but it's 60. It's too many. So, number 1, perpetual adoration. How often is adoration in this parish? Weekly. For all day? 1 day?
1 hour.
Okay, make it more. Do more. Every week. Now, bump it up some. In the parish that I was in Kansas, they did it once a month. So then we bumped it up to once a week. Okay? Then we were trying to do it twice a week. I mean, sometimes you can't. Okay? I lived in the Wichita Diocese for 10 years. Wichita, Kansas. It's one of the best kept secret dioceses in the country. They have the most adoration chapels per capita of anybody in the country. There are more people on their knees praying in adoration there than anywhere else. They have the largest Catholic school system, and tuition is free if you tithe. They have the most priests per capita and the most seminarians. Why? Adoration. If you want to focus on evangelization and change the world, we've got to be praying about it. Some of you, that's your call, to be the prayer warriors for this parish. Other people are going to be the action people, the Franks, to get people to come and do these kind of conferences. But I challenge you, get before our Lord and say nothing. Talk to him, listen to him, and whoever's in charge of adoration, let's do some more. More Jesus means more benefits to ourselves and to others. 2, evangelization retreat. Well, good, you're doing that today, okay? But things like Crucio or Acts, Christ Renews His Parish, Life in the Spirit seminar. So, small town Acts, both of these guys talked about it. If you haven't been on an Acts retreat, talk to us about it. We want you to go. Women's Acts is coming up here pretty soon. So, ladies, if you're interested in that, over the summer there's Teen Acts. It's almost like a must. I mean, if you were a Frasco, I'd say you're going. So make sure that it's something to consider. Get the knowledge out there, personally invite people, and it's these retreats that change people. It's just one more step to getting someone to become a disciple. The third one, called and gifted workshop or Christ's Life. If you're taking notes, and if you're not, that's okay. But these are international organizations that come in and do retreats. Amazing stuff. 4, a welcome gathering. Wouldn't that be interesting? Always have food, always a good thing as Catholics, right? Donuts after every Mass should be mandatory. Don't you agree? Okay. One parish had Oreos. I'm okay with that, but something. Yeah. At least the kids would like it. It makes your kids happy. But a welcome gathering where you do something and everybody's invited to come and they're not Catholic. Other churches are doing it. Why don't we welcome other people of different faiths to come and get to know us? They don't know anything until they get to know and have a relationship with us. And then definitely have at the doors, like you guys had today, people that know their Catholic faith and are willing to share it. Think of it. It could be at the park, and it could be a potluck. It could be something where you have a barbecue. We did with our parish mission. We had a men's night. And we said there was going to be beer there, and they showed up. But it was the most fruitful night of the parish mission, at least I felt like it was. Because those guys, we got them there, and lots of people personally invited them, but it changed souls. And so, welcome gathering, and you got to be, Jesus, he went into the homes, he went out into the streets. We can't just stay in this building. We got to go somewhere else. 5, Vacation Bible School. Does this parish have Vacation Bible School? Is it Catholic?
Yes.
Praise, these guys are amazing. Okay, because most parishes would have a Protestant Christian kind of Vacation Bible School. Next year, sign up for Totus Tuus would be my recommendation, okay? But if it's going well, like we did in our parish, Cat Chat, it's a Catholic program. There's other Catholic programs too. If it works, keep it, okay? And praise God it's Catholic. But I have seen little kids come home, love their day of Vacation Bible School, and then it gets the parents fired up about the faith, and then they become disciples. There's this one parish in Harper, Kansas, little town, about the size of Ozona. And that parish just caught on fire. And we were just teaching kindergartners and third graders and all the way up through high school about the faith. You never know. So this is a great thing to do over the summer. I'm glad you guys have that. 6, an evangelization workshop. 7, parish missions. Do you guys have that? It's like a rebooster, right? It's like every once in a while somebody comes in, have a priest, have a nun, have lay people, have a Jesse Romero, have people that are super exciting, a little bit more intellectual, change it up to where people get excited about the faith. But what we found in our parish is don't always have it just in the church. Find a different way to reach different people to where they feel comfortable. And I'm not saying don't do things in church. That's God's house. God is there. It's amazing. But any way to get people to want to come that are not the normal people that would come. Catholic Conference, I recommend the Midwest Catholic Family Conference in Wichita, Kansas. You might think that's super far from here. It's not that far. It's about as far to Houston as it is to there. There's the Fullness of Truth Conference. There's conferences. We just went to the Austin Men's Conference. They're all over the place. Again, a way to get fired up, but you want to go, great. Invite somebody else that typically wouldn't go to something like that to go with you. And there's women conferences as well. Good job, Chris. You're on it. Mission trip. Has anybody in this parish been on a mission trip? Mexico, another state, another country. Has anybody in this parish ever had a parish mission trip? Now we're going way back, 20 years ago, 50 years ago. Has there ever been a mission trip? Okay, it's the Gaudium Spes, a document in Vatican II says, we find ourselves through being a gift of ourselves to others. That's what happened to me. A mission trip, serving Native Americans, and that service part, using my hands and getting after it and helping others, changed me. So, and it doesn't have to be to like across the world, but some way of service. And there's one organization called Called to Action. That's a Catholic one that you can do it just in Ozona. And it's a mission trip, but it's here where needs need to be met here as well. Okay? So another awesome way to evangelize. Number 10, of course, I do pilgrimages for a living, so I'm going to put this up here. But a pilgrimage to Italy, a pilgrimage to the Holy Land. How many of you have been to either of those places? Did it change you? Was it impactful? Yes, like the Bible comes alive. You can touch the place where Jesus was born, where Jesus died. The books of the Bible, those are not just random pages. They come alive when we go to these sites. To go where St. Peter was crucified. To go and see, this is cool. St. Padre Pio is one of my favorite saints. He's incorruptible. You can get this close to his body and see him. St. Bernadette, again, incorruptible. She has been incorrupt for 150 years. Her hair continues to grow. Her fingernails continue to grow. And the nuns have to clip them occasionally as they keep growing. Crazy stuff. Fun to see. You might be freaked out about it. I love it. But long story short, going to these awesome places, eating good food, being with good people, but going for religious reasons. When you're on vacation, check out the churches that are nearby. There's so many beautiful ones. On our YouTube page, we have a tour of Rowena and Olphin's churches. And I believe these are some of the most beautiful churches in our diocese. So there's churches nearby. You don't have to go to Rome to see beautiful churches. Number 11. Okay, here's a challenge. Here's a fun one. Go out in pairs. Get a buddy, a spouse, a friend, and do this. You pray together. Thank you, Lord, for all the blessings you've given me. Number 2, give us the strength to be courageous enough to go out there and share the faith. 3, Lord, help me. I'm freaked out right now. I don't know what people are going to say. They might throw stuff at me, okay? But, spontaneous from the heart. And 4, have others pray over you as you go out. Not many Catholics are doing this. I told you earlier, Jehovah's Witnesses and Mormons are. 2 by 2, that's the way Jesus sent out the apostles. And going to the streets and sharing the faith. My family and I did this. It's really great to have kids, because kids are cute and people like kids, okay? And we would give bulletins out. Simple as that. The church is right over there. I'm sure you've seen it. These are the Mass times. God bless you. Have a good day. And sometimes it turned into a conversation. And other times it was like, slam the door, goodbye. I don't want to talk to you, okay? People are ducking in the bushes. They don't want to hear you, okay? So, but what's cool is it's a way to evangelize, going out in pairs. Now, this is the people that are bold in the room, and you may not be there yet, but maybe this is something that you're going to pray about, and in a year or two, you could do it. Anybody could do it, okay? It's just by the grace of God. Number 12, a parish synod, where we figure out different areas of need in this parish. I can tell what your priorities are already. I don't know this parish. I know the Knights of Columbus are big. I know youth group and youth ministry is big. Confirmation's big. Why? I walked into the church, I see it on the bulletin boards. That's your priority. Anything can be our priority, right? There's so many needs in the world. It could be pro-life. It could be helping the divorced. It could be helping engaged couples. There's so many needs, okay? But finding what you feel called to do to fill that need, and but to talk about that, and to have a statement, and have every single parishioner say, I'm going to do one thing in this category. Maybe it's hospitality. That means we're going to greet people and be happy and bubbly and nice when everybody comes in, okay? I'm going to be service. I want to get my hands dirty, and I want to do things for others, okay? But everybody's got to commit to this. I go back to the Wichita Diocese. We joined this parish in Wichita, and everybody is doing one or two things. That's it. If you brought in a new priest every single weekend and changed out the priest every single weekend, it wouldn't matter, because everybody does one or two things. In most Catholic parishes in the world, there are 10 people doing everything. And what we need to do is have everybody in the parish do one or two. It doesn't matter. Pick your thing. You want to mow the grass? Fine. That helps. That's one. But always remember, it's one thing in the church, one thing out there. Maintenance in the church, mission out there. Two things. If you're doing 12 things, stop. Other people need to be doing those other 9, 10 things. We need you to do one or two things and do them well for the Lord. And it's so cool in this room. We have young people, and we got all the way up to elderly, and we can all do different things where God has us in our life. 13, parish website, app, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, social media. So I have 7 states as a pilgrimage coordinator of the 50 states. I guess they trust me a little bit or something. And I have visited every single parish website of those 7 states. Did you know the San Angelo Diocese is the worst diocese in those 7 states for parish websites and social media? I can honestly say that. That's my diocese. This is my home. Most parishes don't have a website, or it leads to something that shouldn't lead to, so we need, those of you young people, we need social media to get people to invite them and get things recorded of homilies or today's stuff, to get the word out. to evangelize. Because yes, going door to door is good, and yes, getting a phone call is good, but sometimes people just need to see it on a website, okay? And that might help to evangelize. So if you have the gift for technology, go for it. 14, the first 15. So 15 people, they gather together, they pray, they have a discussion, and then they go do something. They go to the Pregnancy Help Center in San Angelo. They go to Catholic Outreach in San Angelo. See, that one I like a little bit better. I don't know about you. It's not just 2 people. That's kind of intimidating. But it's 15 people, maybe even less. How about 5? 5 people praying together. Okay, what do you want to do to change the world? Good. And then going and doing it together. Some of you ladies, I can just picture you just like sitting together praying and then having this awesome discussion and like, hey, what are we going to do? Let's go. You know, I'm saying guys can't do that, but it just seems like that's just like, in this room, I feel called to say that to you ladies right now. Go out and make some outreach. Go change the world. 15, Men and Women's Annual Weekend Retreat. So like, it's good to have a retreat, but we got to have something that happens often so we get re-energized so that we can try our best to keep growing in the faith. 16. It would be cool to see in the back of your church a dynamic Catholic CDs and books, or Lighthouse Catholic Media does this as well, freebies. Who likes free stuff? When I was in the classroom, I had a free box, and I always was putting stuff in there. My students loved it. They didn't know what they were going to find. All that back there is free, okay? Free stuff, but free Catholic stuff. And Dynamic Catholic is great because you can order like 100 books. Joe's done this multiple times for $1 or $2 a book, and then that's what you do. Hand them out to all the kinds of people. What about after a funeral, after a wedding, Christmas and Easter? When the pews are full of people you don't normally see, Catholic book, Catholic CD. Not that everybody listens to CDs anymore, but it's something. Okay, something to be able to help people to know the faith. So hopefully that would be a good idea. 17, 6-week series on discipleship. You can't just become a disciple when the Rome boys come and we say you should be a disciple and then we leave. Okay, it takes preparation. It takes some knowledge. It takes a lot of people discussing things for you to be able to get there. So knowledge is power. Hopefully that would help. 18, free tours of the church hosted by disciples. So you put in the newspaper and say, come to the parish, this week, this time, you can have a tour of the church, and then we'll have food afterwards. People want to come in here, but they just don't know what it's like, okay? So having church tours is a fun idea. A booth at a community event with free materials. I always see like other religions have booths. Why can't we? And you're giving out bulletins, you're giving out different things about our parish. But see, there again, it's an event that is not a churchy event. It's an event that is outside the normal parameters of where Catholics usually go. So how about in your schools and in your workplace? As much as you possibly can, okay, try to get people to come to our faith. Number 20, an auction item. I've been to so many auctions in Catholic churches, and not one religious item is auctioned off. So getting something there to where it can help people grow in their faith. Remember, the mission of this parish, in so many words, is to lead souls to Christ. If we have an auction, is it all about the money? It shouldn't be. It should be about helping souls get closer to Christ. So the auction items and the people that are on the committee and everything should be about getting people there. 21, fun idea. So different parts of Ozona find a time where someone has their home and they invite Father over or somebody else over. And you have a meal and you hang out and you talk about the faith. But don't just do that in one house. How about 15 homes? And in those homes, people that live in that neighborhood would go to that home and learn about the faith, talk about the faith. Maybe not even talk about the faith, just get to know each other, okay? And invite people in your neighborhood there that are not Catholic. The priest is there, let's say a deacon is there, the youth minister is there, and lay people that they seem familiar with. It's an awesome idea. Food again, not in the parish setting, in the home where people are comfortable, okay? And try to get people there by inviting them personally. Okay. Should I move faster? You seem like you're getting tired, and this is the day we're almost hungry. So, 22. Most adults become committed Catholics by the age of 13. I would say you should put all of your effort into middle school and grade school kids. Everything. All in. Poker chips in. By 13, you make that decision. One of my sons, my third son, Simeon, the light bulb went off when he was 12. And I sent him to a Catholic camp in Kansas. He came back different. And I got, the Holy Spirit, got him right before that golden age of 13. Everybody makes their decision by then. So it's important that we do more and more for young people to evangelize them. One thing in our diocese is the Bread of Life retreat. My kids have gone to it. It's awesome. It's in St. Angelo. 23, I don't want to skip much though, but I'm going to start skipping, I promise. Teens mirror the faith of their parents. The average teen spends 38 minutes a week in meaningful conversation with their parents and 1,680 minutes watching TV or internet use. Going to Mass is super important, but talking about the Catholic faith on an everyday basis makes it that 99%. 24, net retreat. Only 2 parishes in our diocese have a net retreat. We just put it on in Rowena last week. It's an amazing, awesome. College students come in, they put on a retreat, they dedicate an entire year to doing these retreats. They go across the country. It's super awesome. Pumps you up. Get it in this parish. Tech, Steubenville, Totus Tuus. That's 4 ideas right there, so now we're up to 63. Number 25, Bishop Barron, have you heard of him? Yeah, he's a super smart guy. All you got to do, have food, press play, learn about the faith with him. Do it in your home, do it in the parish setting. 26, I told you about this one, CCD, but get the family involved. The parishes I have seen that CCD has been the most impactful is when the parents are there with the kids. And it's not like I drop them off, you learn about the faith, I'm out doing something else. I mean, it's better than nothing, but it has not shown success in the past. 27, small group, that's where it's at. Right now we're teaching a bigger group, but it would be better if I had a few of you, and Chris had a few of you, and Joe had a few of you, and talk about the faith that way. That's why we're going to end today with question and answer. Small group, everything. Catholic Church has always been, let's get as many people there, and let's talk to them all. No, smaller, intimate, ladies between the ages of 30 and 50, here. Teens, here. Sports players, here. And so that people can connect with the people that are in their group that they're going to see on a regular basis. I already talked about that one. Good. Talked about good. Food, yes. 31, homily, Father's not here. The homily message series about a topic. In the Protestant world, in the evangelical world, the pastor asks the people what they want to hear about. Now, a priest has to go by what the readings are, but have you heard about hell in the homily recently? Purgatory, contraception, Ukraine, anything that you find that is an everyday thing for you. Marriage, and how to keep your marriage together when it's on the rocks. Have you heard a homily on that? These are things I want to hear about. So, encouraging Father, can you talk about these 5 topics sometime in the next year? Because the people in these pews want to hear about them. We're thirsting to hear about them. So that would be cool if Father would be open to be able to do those things. And if not, he can do talks on those. Mass times, are they convenient for you? Now, would it be better if daily Mass is at noon? Would it be better if the Mass is at 8 o'clock at night? Talk to Father about it. If you're working and you can't be there, how is it going to work? But if it's a convenient time, you're more likely to hopefully be there. Thank you, sir. You good? We got that one. Done it. Wow. Okay. And some of these guys covered it, so thank you. Send a gift package to college students or people since COVID that you have not seen at Mass. Actually, send a package, call them, show up at the door, give them a pie. Okay, not in the face, but yeah. Find something to make a connection with them and say, we miss you. We want you back. We need you back. We can't function without you being here. Like, seriously, we're in an army here for Christ, for souls, and if the army is small, we're going to get taken down. We need reinforcements. We need help to get people here. Okay, Ascension Press, Ignatius Press DVDs. Awesome movies, awesome series. You should buy them and share those with others. Theology on Tap, have you ever heard of that? Or Thirsting for Theology as I take a drink. Awesome way to evangelize, but at the bar or at a restaurant. And everybody's talking about the faith. There's a speaker, and you talk about the faith in the midst of a social gathering. 40, a parish concert. Have some music here. 41, Cana couples. Basically, they know that if you make it to the year 15 in your marriage, the success rate is higher. So we got to make sure that we help the people that are before 15 years to have the tools that are necessary to have a strong, solid Catholic marriage. Good. Move on, sir. Thank you. Bigger gathering spaces, more bathrooms conveniently located, an info center, a cry room where people can participate. Ask the parishioners, if there's one thing that we can do to make this place more welcoming, what would it be? I bet you have an idea in your mind right now. And then work towards that goal. Like in Rowena, there's no cry room. And my kids are loud. I got to go outside, therefore I cannot hear the rest of the Mass. So I would love to have a cry room. So making it happen to do that. 44, a parish challenge saying, okay, everybody, for Lent, everybody read the Gospel of Matthew. Whoever does gets this. Have a reward. I always like to give away stuff. So, Father can challenge you in that. But do that as family members, as friends. Everybody, that all your friends get together. We're going to read the 4 Gospels this year. Go. And let's talk about it on Fridays at noon or whatever else. I did that already. Good. We'll skip that. Okay, 48. Softball, basketball, baseball, hockey. I don't care what the sport is, soccer. Get together, do some fun stuff in the midst of you're Catholic. And perhaps someone might bring up the faith, and if they don't, that's all right. But again, I told you about to make a disciple, you have the first stage is trust. So hang out with people that are not Catholic so that they might ask questions, so therefore they might join our church maybe in the future. And if not, you're showing a good example of what a Catholic is by, like Chris said earlier, not cussing and setting a good example and being, God willing, holy. A walking rosary and a Eucharist procession. I love this because you pray the rosary, lots of you do. Lots of you come visit Jesus. Well, why don't we bring Jesus to the streets? And why don't we go outside and pray the rosary and people see us? And that reminds them of God. As Rome Boys, we put up a billboard. We're hoping to do other billboards where people will see Jesus in this crazy, busy, nuts world. It's amazing. And it's just one way to be able to share the faith. Thank you. A father-daughter, mother-son date night. This was amazing in my last parish. People still talk about it today. Quality time with a mom or a dad. Making memories to where that's lasting stuff. A bond, especially for me with 7 kids, it's hard to connect with every one of my kids on an individual basis. To look them in the eyes and say, my time is all for you tonight, today, for the rest of your life. And so being able to talk about that. 51, a marriage night with babysitting provided. There's a lot of people that don't go to church or don't go to events because they got to take care of their kids. Or if they bring their kids, they feel like they didn't get anything out of it because they're crawling all over the seats and they're going nuts and they're throwing temper tantrums and stuff like that. So we got to have babysitting. If you have babysitting, I might show up. Okay, so be careful. Okay, all of us might show up. Where do these 18 kids come from? Okay. Drop off a dessert, invite, good, billboard done. Bring in speakers. Dave Ramsey, have you heard of him? Great speaker, but the number one reason why marriages end in divorce and the number one worry of most people is usually money. And Dave Ramsey's one approach, there's other Catholic ones out there too, of how to get out of debt, not how to get into debt first, but how to get out if you are, and to be able to not have that be a crutch, be a stumble block for your rest of your life, and so finding ways to be financially responsible. theology of the body. Wear a Catholic shirt. Some of you have that on today, or a cool hat, or whatever it may be. Knights of Columbus, way to represent. Those are good things. Get a Rome Boys bumper sticker. I haven't done too many plugs, but there's one. A Catholic bumper sticker on your car. Well, think about that, though. How many times will someone see your t-shirt, your bumper sticker? Nobody's rammed into me yet with my 4 bumper stickers on my car. It's barely holding up my car. Okay, literally, it's like falling apart. Okay, and then lastly, invite people to your home for a meal. We do that all the time. We have, like my wife and I have a list of people we want to invite in the parish. We feel called to invite people that are really close to giving their faith, getting really into that faith. Like I told you earlier, the 18%. The ones that are active but not fully, totally like 100% in. And then lastly, send a card inviting people to an event. Okay, if you want to push them down a little bit more, thank you. So, one scripture verse. Leave it to the cradle Catholic to not talk about the Bible. Okay? But I really do love the Bible, guys. Okay? But Acts 2:42 is the number one verse in the New Testament besides the Great Commission these guys said. Doctrine, Eucharist, fellowship, and prayers. These are the 4 things the first disciples focused all their energy on. The early church did this. And then it continued to this day. Let's look at the parish and look at yourself, okay? Number 1, do you know the faith? And how are we doing as a parish in explaining the faith and teaching the faith for us to grow? Are you growing in your faith? Intellectually and spiritually. In the early church, that was their focus. 2, the Eucharist. Does every parishioner believe Jesus is in the tabernacle? Probably not. It's going to be hard to ever do, but 20% of teenagers believe in the Eucharist, they say statistically. 30% of adults. Is that a priority for you? Do you believe? And does this parish communicate to everyone that Jesus is in the tabernacle, that we can adore him in adoration? 3, fellowship. We're about to get ready for that. Is there events? Are we conversing? Are we talking? Are we getting to know each other? Or are we sitting in the pew with people and I don't even know who that is? Or I haven't asked them, how are they truly doing? Don't you love that line? How you doing? Good, good. How are you? Good. We don't know how they're doing unless we spend some time getting to know them and really asking, so really, how are you doing? Because all of us in this room, there's something that we're struggling with that we need to talk about. And this is the perfect setting to do that. And then to pray. Prayers are huge. An active prayer life, one that's always there for us. So, without further ado, I hope and pray, first of all, I'm going to keep praying for you. I will pray for you to the day I die, and when I'm in purgatory, which the chances are good that I'll be there, okay, I'll pray for you. And God willing, if I'm a saint, I'm going to keep praying for you. Please pray for me and my family. Pray for these other guys and their families, the Rome Boys. If you would like to be a part of our prayer warriors, we send an email out a couple times a month asking for prayers. Just sent an email. I've been dealing with migraines, like hardcore. Praise God I'm able to give this talk today. Please pray for me on that. Okay, speaking of migraines, just kidding. No. And so if you would like to join the prayer warriors, let us know. Email us. If you like a sweatshirt or a shirt or anything else, please do. We basically have a threefold mission. Talks, that's part of it. Definitely like parish missions, that kind of thing. The other one is social media. So we're on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, Parler, MeWe, and Gab. And we do a daily post on there. And then we have our YouTube channel that we do videos every Saturday morning. A new one comes out. You'll see familiar faces on the YouTube channel there. We're doing billboards. We're doing whatever God asks us to do, praise God, hopefully God, as much as we possibly can. So please, again, pray for us. Watch our show if you can and share it. If you'd like to donate, that's awesome too. But we're all in this as a body of Christ to share the gospel message.